So let's rewind the clock back to Turkey Month when COVID, right before actually COVID got the new Omicron patch notes, and League of Legends, the League of Legends anime Arcane was hitting Netflix, and it was probably one of the best shows I've ever watched. At the same time, led to some of the worst months mentally in my entire life. Let's talk about it.
It's crazy. There's so many people in this room and nobody asked. That's the craziest.
The League of Legends cartoon had absolutely zero business being as good as it was, and so we're just gonna go along act by act, and I'm just gonna break down what I enjoyed about each act. Okay, look, opening scene, really good. All right, the show is really good. I just want to brush on one thing on Act 1 is that this whole thing started because Echo scammed the dude, charged him double price, followed him home, then sent a hit on his home, leading to the dude's life's research, to be almost destroyed, leading him to almost commit suicide. On the flip coin in the lanes, this led to the enforcers like scouring the lanes, which led to Vander's ultimate demise. Well, Vander, like, you know, having to kind of like that whole dialogue. Then we get that he's still alive. We get that he's Warwick, okay? And of course, like, it led to, you know, Powder and Vi kind of parting ways. So shout out to Echo. I'm an Echo main, so we love the boy. But other than that, Act 1 did a really good job of establishing the world. We got a nice little character relationship between Vander and Vi, Jinx, Dead 1, Dead 2. So it was, you know, Act 1, nothing crazy. Kind of got some pacing issues. I skip it on every rewatch. Yeah, nothing much else to talk about. Except for that scene. The final scene of Act 3 was exhilarating to say the least. The animation, superb. Soundtrack, superb. The character writing, also superb. Everything was just good. Like, it made you forget any problems that were in Act 1. It was just really, really good. And I witnessed two types of reactions to to Vi, like, bitch slapping her sister and then abandoning her. I witnessed two types of reactions to that.
Oh my god, that's so sad. Daughter's a dumb idiot. I don't care if she's a kid. If I was a kid, I would've...
Anyways, great scene, very emotional, moving on. Act 2 is where a lot of the meat and the potatoes are, okay? You got action, you got great character writing, you got beautiful animation, beautiful soundtrack.
I've had a break.
Those aren't canon, but I'm listening.
Say that you a lesbian, girl, me too.
So let's talk about women. All the female characters in Arcane are fantastic, they're phenomenal, they're female protagonists pushing the story forward, actually having impact on the story, not suffering from like 90s shonen syndrome where the female characters were ultimately useless and just damsels in distress. So we love to see women in power finally getting good representation. And it was nice seeing, you know, Vi, Jinx, Caitlyn, Mel, just seeing how their decisions impacted the story and just seeing them make good decisions and also bad decisions. And mind you, this also extends to the male cast as well. It's just the women were just so much better. Act 2's plot structure and the going beyond is very simple. We have three different plot threads that we're following. We have 21 Zon Street, we have Jinx's Bizarre Adventure, and then we have the Hexgate Network. But as a whole though, the anime could probably be titled Bad Decisions. Everyone makes bad decisions, the anime. Now, while this could be like frustrating at times to see them making bad decisions, it also made them very relatable, I feel, also very human. Humans aren't perfect, obviously. We all know how frustrating human beings are, so it only makes sense that the characters in like this show would also make a bunch of bad decisions. And the character arcs can go up and down. There's character progressions, there could also be character regressions. A lot of people, I feel like, forget about the regression part, and a perfect character example of this is Zuko from Avatar: Last Airbender, and I absolutely love Zuko, and I think that they took kind of like that formula of like this progression, regression, nice little balance of the two, but ultimately, you know, ultimately it's going up, ultimately, so it was awesome to see. I loved it, it was great. This type of plot structure with three different threads also lended to really great crossovers between the threads, like the time that like Jace and Vi teamed up, really well done, beautiful animation of course as always, and the soundtrack.
Say that you a lesbian, girl.
The song in particular for this one, Bopped, Snakes, beautiful song. Jace and Victor's Silicon Valley bromance was great and all, but not really my favorite part of the show. I do want to talk about the episode in Act 2 where there was a strange amount of sexual tension that actually led to an actual sex scene with a Milky Way in it and Victor dying over his desk. And, you know, shout out to Riot marketing team for making a scene that alienates 95% of their fan base, because Lord knows that 95% of League of Legends players cannot relate to that scene, me included. Reaction to that, to the scene where like Jace and Mel are just getting laid, and then meanwhile Victor's just dying in like his lab. I can just picture the reaction, just like, dude, what the heck? Jace a fake one, dude. Jace a fake one, beta male for getting laid. Meanwhile, Victor fighting for his life in the lab. Dude, he's a real one, dude. Just stay on that grind step, bro. Just stay on that grind step. But yeah, anyway, Act 3 popped off with a bang. Now, before we get to the good stuff, there is one thing that we need to talk about that kind of comes up a lot in Act 3, which is, you know, I could see coming, and it doesn't really detract from the story, and it kind of needs to happen because this is a prequel story, but the massive amounts of plot armor that the characters have, the League of Legends champions have, is like ridiculous. Like, that scene where like the butterfly blows up.
Oh, come on. What? How are you still alive? You were closer to the bottom than I was.
Well, I got a scratch on the elbow. I scraped it a little bit after the explosion.
A scratch? You're complaining about a scratch? Me arm got blown off.
It stings a little bit. You've got some dirt probably in there.
You know what? Never mind. To hell with it, I'm dying anyway.
That cool factor, that suspension of disbelief, totally viable, totally fine, as long as I keep getting scenes like the Echo versus Jinx scene. Now, I don't know what started this like motif or this trend in anime, but I first saw it in Naruto with the Kakashi and Obito fight of like when you have two friend characters who are now enemies and they're fighting each other and it keeps flashing back and forth to the present. Really well done. The soundtrack, once again, awesome. And they even went as hard as to change the animation style for the flashbacks. Insane. It was an insane scene. Really well done. The League of Legends player inside of me, though, was like, damn, Echo really, oh, my light just... Finally, we've arrived at the last scene, and you know that the tension is built very, very well when, even as a League of Legends player, and I know that the League of Legends champions can't get hurt, and I know damn well that Caitlyn's head is not on that platter, my heart was still going. Jinx is by far my favorite character. Jinx's character arc, at least how I saw it, was all about trying to, you know, accept herself the way that she is and balancing it between what people want her to be and who she actually was. And it was a matter of finally accepting the process and finally accepting who she was currently, and that it was okay to not be perfect. And if that means blowing up and killing people, I guess, then I guess good for her. Like, I kind of relate to it. It's like a little psychotic twist on it, which kind of reminds me of another character that I had to relate to, but that's for a different time.
Dude, stop. You can't fix her, dude.
Dude, I'm not trying to fix her, dude. She's already perfect.
Funny joke, me. Hey, speaking of perfect imperfections, if you like Arcane, you might like Prism. A sci-fi fantasy light novel about a fire mage ruling to a magical academy. Will his quest for vengeance tear his new team of friends apart? Or will they unite together in this futuristic world of magic, mafia, monsters, and mayhem? The first volume is available for free on my website. Link in the description below.
Now, if you've gotten this far, you may be wondering, Brandon, how did Arcane ruin your life? We've only heard good things so far. Well, hello, traveler. There is a very, very cool video game that this anime is based off of called League of Legends. Now, everything revolving the game, very top quality, cinematics, beautiful. Lore, awesome. Storytelling, great. But the game itself, it's like an anti-Tootsie Pop, where like you just want to lick around it, and then once you actually get to the center, you want to just throw it away. It's kind of like a black hole in this sense, where like it just sucks you in and then you just start rage queuing. It's not a good time. I would not recommend playing the game. In fact, it should be illegal for Riot to make such a good show to then get all these new players into the game just so that they could be called racial slurs in the first couple of minutes of them playing the game. It has hideous balancing, and it just does not give you like the actual high that you get from real drugs. So with League of Legends, the Arcane skins were made available for free for a limited time, so long as you just played the game. And so as a person who doesn't want to pay for things, I picked up the game and I relapsed for a couple of weeks. In those 2 weeks, I lost friends, family stopped talking to me, my mental hit a whole new low. I was eating terribly, my grades were dropped. But after the 2-week relapse, we're normal, we're fine, okay? I'm back to enjoying everything about League of Legends, like, ooh, look at the lore, ooh, look at that cinematic, and not actually playing the game. Back on our feet, baby, back to normal, back to killing it, back to farming IRL content and not this dog shit video game by a $5 billion indie company, Riot Games. But yeah, I just, I had a little rough patch there, but Arcane was cool. Arcane was great, just don't play League of Legends. Just don't play that video game. That's all I got.